eagerly waiting to hear.
Hey, Nashon, I can hear you well.
Yes,
Thank.
please. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
And
doing
congratulations for
evening.
passing the exam. I
Thank
can feel, I can hear the happiness in your voice. I know this is really amazing for you.
thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I apologize for the background noise. Niko job, I'm at work, and here I'm in JKIA, so you can imagine kuna ndege, kuna watu. Uh-huh. What do I say? My journey with NCLEX has taken about, is it 11 months? I started on 14th of June last year. I just sat down in this desk that I am now, nikaangalia online, and then I bumped into MedPro, and then I filled that form they fill. Yeah, I applied on that day. It has been quite a journey. It's been quite a journey. It has been with ups and downs. With MedPro, I was to finish within 6 months, according to their projection. But in between there, I think in November, December, January, I got bereaved, and I was so low emotionally, I couldn't study. But after that, in January, I got back to shape. In Feb, now I got back to shape. I went back to doing my exams in MedPro. One thing with MedPro, you are being guided on what to do. And before then, I had finished the class, the master, whatever, the first classes. So I had finished. So in Feb, I started again. Now by March, I was given ATT. That's when now I bumped again into Nation through a friend who had done high NCLEX. She told me about this program here. So I told myself, why not? I came to Nation's inbox. I asked some questions, whatever, and then I enrolled in Q banks in March, 15th of March. Yeah. That was 8 weeks to my exam. When I joined the Q banks group, hey, I started asking myself, where have I been? Because I found there are a lot of questions. Those people who are in MedPro, Leaping Coach. Leaping Coach sounds like it's easy. It's easy. And then when I got there, I got some questions that, hey, then myself, I don't work in a hospital. Okay, our place of work is not much like hospital. We deal with well people, passengers. So I started asking myself, will I really do this exam within the 8 weeks that I have? Given that I've now found that there are a lot of things here that require a lot of learning and what have you. But I just told myself I have to do it. I cannot change. First of all, I'm not the one paying for my exams. It's the agency. So I have to do what I can to do it. And I've been telling myself ever since, I need to pass NCLEX in my first attempt. So I jumped into it. I could attend all the sessions. If I don't attend the session, I go back and review. The questions there were tough. They were tough, but I took it as a learning opportunity for me. If I get a question here that maybe a topic that I don't understand, I could go back to books. My resources, actually, I don't have many resources for learning. I didn't, as I said, I had a friend who had done this, so she had told me about being confused with a lot of resources. So for me, it was only MedPro. And then I was following the your nursing space in YouTube, only that. And then now QBanks. And then later on, 4 weeks into QBanks, I again went to Nationals Inbox. I asked him about the classes. I even didn't have the money. I asked him for the classes. I told him, yo, can I just pay like a little? I join these classes and then I'll finish later. Hey, Nation was really good. He allowed me in. I paid half the money. And then now the first day of class, the first lesson I joined, I again asked myself, where? So there is a lot of learning taking place out here. I mean, the learning there was simplified, the things that you need to know. You know, there are things I must know, need to know. And Book of Nation has simplified the notes. That book you call sound as, me, I'm not a person, like I cannot sit for long and read. I better answer questions, and then questions always take me back to the notes. Like if I get this challenging question, I'll go back to the notes and then read for that particular topic and make sure that I understand well. So me, the moment I saw the pages of Saunders, I told myself, can I really, I've been always that student. I already attend the class. I think since my primary, high school, college, I'd rather attend class, listen to the teacher, that thing will stick than, and then we have people who can just read even without attending classes, it will stick. I'm the opposite. So I asked Nation, he allowed me to classes. So those classes, they are very nice, by the way. The notes, whatever you need to know is what is being taught. So I did it for 4 weeks. There are sessions I could just, like if I'm here at work, I could log in at a key. I'm there screening passengers, and then I come back, I get, it has been like the lesson has gone to see how many minutes. I could, when I have time, I'll go back and listen to that recording. And Nation, they are doing good by posting the recordings there. So that has been my learning resources. Macro Q banks, gold banks for 4 weeks. I actually again asked myself, why did I enroll in this gold bank, gold rush way earlier? Like now, how am I gonna get all learn the information needed here within this short time? I had 4 weeks for my exam. And then again, I told myself, hey, Pam, you need to pass and first attempt. And there are a lot of people out here discouraging people, saying NCLEX is hard, it's what. Me, I refuse to listen to that. Did they even colleagues, when I hear a person starting saying, oh, you cannot even, you must do it like so many times in the repeat. Me wanna talk up because I don't like the negativity of it. So I did it in 4 weeks. Exam was on 14 May last week. A day to exam, was it 2 days to exam? I decided not to do anything concerning reading. I told myself it has been almost 11 months. Oh my God. Mary, sorry. Hapa kuna kelele. There are a lot of activities going on na nimejificha mahali niwaongelesha. I don't know. Are there people? Can you hear me? The rest?
We can hear you, Pam.
You can hear?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, American. Yeah, so within the 4 weeks of Gold Rush, the 8 weeks of Q Banks, I made it on 14th. No, before 14th, on 12th, I decided no, I cannot now read. But I relaxed because it's been 11 months of doing this. Your life comes to a standstill. So then on 13th, I did some things at home. On 12th, I did things at home. On 13th, I say this is my spa day. I went to the spa, did all we do in the spa. I came home more relaxed. And then the following day, my exam was at 1. I woke up at 6. I saw the kids off to school, and then I went back to sleep. I woke up at around 8:10. I made breakfast, and then I prepared to go to Westlands. So I knew from my home to the exam center is around 1 hour. So I left home at around 10:30. 10:30, and then around 11:30 I was there. I saw it is again too early. I cannot go in. What do? I stayed in the car. I said, again, it is around 1.5 hours to exam. I asked myself, can I look at Q banks? No. What do? I said, can I sleep? I cannot sleep. So I decided, let me call my mom. So I called her, we talked. At around 12:10, I decided to go in. I thought when your exam is at 1, you are supposed to start at 1. I didn't know that you can go early. So I entered at 12:10. They gave me rules to read. There are rules there, baby. I read, and then after rules, they call you, they take your picture, a passport picture of you. They take your fingerprints. Is it fingerprints or palm vein, whatever? And then they ushered me to exam room. First of all, when you get there, they tell you to switch all your phones off. So I switched my phone off. They put it in something like a bag. And then you are given all your things to put in your locker. And then you go to the exam room with your passport and the key for that locker. You have put your things. So I went. Me that day of exam, I wasn't anxious. Me nilienda na roho moja. I said I've been doing this, so let me just do it. I went sat on my chair. They gave me desk number 4. I said this one I'll pass. I know number 4 in me. I'm even 4th born in our family, so I knew I'll pass. I started my exam. The questions were, I don't know what I expected really. Me, I thought I was gonna fail because my questions were a bit easy. I don't know if they are easy or it's me who had over prepared. I don't know. I could just answer this. There's only one drug that I don't remember that. I've never heard of that drug, and it was my question 85. So I just guessed that one. At 85, the computer shut down. No, from there I started asking myself, hey, I've been hearing that when the questions are super easy, you're gonna fail. They should be hard. I started even now growing anxiety. For the 48 hours of waiting, I was so anxious. I was anxious because I thought I've done like the questions were, I don't know if they were easy. Am I just read enough to think that they are easy? I don't know. So I got the results yesterday. Even getting the result, it was, I could check from morning, from no one. I could check the quick results thing. They are just telling me they may not be available, they may not be available. At around 8 p.m., my main phone got, I don't know what is happening with it. It hanged. I cannot do anything. The screen is not working anymore. I decided to put it off. I had even asked a few people, including Nation, Kwani, how long does it take for these people to give us results? Everyone are just telling me, "Oh, wait, wait, wait." I'm like, you people don't know. I've been waiting for 2 years. two days in a 2 years. I switched it off and then I slept at 9. Lakini hata sleeping, there is no sleep. And I slept at 8. At 9, like 9:25, I woke up. And then I decided, let me check again using another phone that is not mine. I checked, and I was told you have to pay some money so that you get your quick result. But when I opened, it tells me it's a pass. A pass how I have not paid. And then I remembered, oh, I am under someone. Oh, I have a sponsor. Maybe Medpro have paid. So I went to the emails. I didn't even know that you check emails. National told me I check them. Went to emails. I found the congratulations message. And I'm like, wow, thank you. First of all, what I would say to everyone who is here, being here alone, being in this, the Cuban group that we are in, it's a blessing in disguise, because me, before I joined here, I was doing things alone. Apart from being with MedPro, I was just alone. Like, you don't know, you read this in MedPro, you do the living code thing, and you feel like you are okay. But once I joined here, I found that there is a family. That's why I'm calling you people family. There's a family here. There are people who check on you, how you are doing. You can miss 2 sessions ya asubuhi na afternoon, alafu kidogo unaona Maria's text, hey Pam, you are lost. I'm like, hey, siku moja. You are lost, where are you? Like, that one is keeping you on toes. You should not find time to do this. There are people who are like even sending you some things, some materials. You didn't know a lot of things. They said I work in a place where it's PHO dominated place, nurses kuko wachache. So a lot of things you don't know. But in here I found a family. There are people praying for you. Faith even prayed for me the morning to my exam. Thank you, Faith. Joan prayed for me. Tina called me. Any you people. It's a family in here. Na kama uko na kitu, just talk with others. You share. You ask. This is one family that is meaning well for each other. And in preparation part, you just need to prepare thoroughly, yes. And then there are resources out there. YouTube iko na vitu mingi, they can really confuse you. As Fida said, well, you can be confused. So just narrow down to one thing, to one like page. Follow them, because you can read about EKG in Uyu, and then you go to another person, they are saying some other things, you go to another. I experienced that before I decided, let me do the main nursing space. And sometimes, some moments I could go to mark limits, but not really sana. So just find somewhere. First of all, we are better in here. When you wako kwa gold rush class, you may want to join it. You have time. You may want to. You need it. Especially if you are that person who, like, when you hear from the teacher or someone, it sticks. You may want the class. Inasaidia sana. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Maybe now questions may guide what I'll say next.
Okay, congratulations, Pam, for that good testimony from your side. So officially, we can give you your flowers. Members, you can type your emojis, type her those good messages so that she is able to see them and appreciate. So we'll also ask you a few questions, but I'll go first and then I'll allow others to ask you. And before I put across my question, I just want to comment that for you it was an interesting case because the first time you talked to me, you asked about the price for the gold rush, as well as the price for the Q-Banks. And what surprised me is that you were able to subscribe for the first time you did your subscription, you paid for at least 2 months ahead. And I was like, wow, this is now a very serious student. Okay, I really get that from my students, but that was quite unique from your side. And ever since you came in, you have been very active. I can say that you are very active, not only on the Q banks, the gold banks group, but also the gold rush. At some point, we were even asking you to be our spiritual person. Then the following week, you are not there, so you had gone for the exams. And then the next moment, boom, this is a pass. That was really nice. You executed that very, very well. So my question would be for you to tell us, you've talked about your preparation, what inspired you, but there's now this thing that everyone talks about. What was the challenge? What was the hardest part in your journey? Which part gave you some problems in terms of challenges? Maybe you could share with us so that we're able to see them and maybe avoid those for our students.
Thank you for that question, Nashon. Let me start on the spiritual part. You guys were asking me to be praying for you, and I had only 3 days to my exam. I even asked myself, sasa nani anafaa kuombea mwingine? It's okay. On challenges, I think in this journey, you just need to be focused. Either you are self-sponsored or you are under an agency, you need to be focused. Because if you are not, like time management is an issue. When we are all working, I don't know, we are all working, we have families, we have other things to do. So you need just to slot your time. My challenge was in that, like I'm needed here, so time was an issue. But I just made it right plan. I like nitasema hata kama ni kulala vile Faith amesema usingizi haiwi but inaweza huwa usingizi ni mbaya. So the challenge was that I cannot say I had issues financially because I'm not the one who is paying. That what else? Most of the time it is that, and now the confusion from many people. You know, there are people now walimu hapa nje. Everyone is saying this and this and this and this. So if you're not focused, you'll end up being confused by many people, and you'll even fail because everyone has something to say. So you need to be focused. You need to have timelines. Like now for us who are in MedPro, there are those things, the assignment that you need to do. Please make sure do them. I know those people cannot come here and beat you because you have not done it, but do the slow to your time. After do time, do what you are needed to do. They say you need to like do these questions per week. You need to do an exam each week. Find yourself time and do it. Time management is an issue while dealing with NCLEX, but if you just plan yourself well, allow yourself to sleep hata kama ni 2 hours, you recover. Like now I can sleep. You can sleep. So I think time, yeah, that's the biggest challenge. There's a lot to cover within a very short time.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much again for that response. So, all right. So, is there any question? Anyone from the group who wants to ask a question? You can unmute and ask your question now. You can also type. Pam, did you tell us the number? What number did your computer go off?
My computer shut at 85 questions. So when I was saying I was even worried more because I expected to like go for up to 150 because really I felt my questions are not much challenging. I don't know. See, I thought they're easy and maybe I have failed. But it
Okay.
shut at 85.
All right. So you were prepared to go up to 150, and that was a very good mental preparation. So as you go for this exam, don't fix your mind. Don't don't have a fixed mind. That's what I'm saying. Don't expect that your computer must shut off at 85. You will be shocked. You might even it might even throw you off. So as you head in towards that exam, be ready to do the 150. Imagine a situation whereby you told yourself that you're going to do that exam in just 2 hours, as people say. In 2 hours, I was done with the exam, my computer shut at 85 and all that. And then boom, you are at question 101, 101. There is no sign of the computer shutting. What are you going to do? You will get anxious. You start panicking, and that's how you might end up failing. It's not that you don't know, but now that you're panicking, you're trying to race with the computer that it might go, but it is not. Okay, so just prepare to do a whole 150, and during your preparation, for those who have the Lippincott, okay, do the 150. Lippincott at least can give you that opportunity to do the 150. For those who are using other materials like the Archers or the boot camp, I know there are those readiness assessment tests. You can at least do that if you have an active account. Do that. You can just schedule yourself, see how long or how much time can you take to do an entire exam. And then that can give you that exposure and experience with the same. But the best is the Lippincott because you can set up to 150 without the computer going off. Just try to do the entire 150 questions and get to have a feeling of how that settles with you. Okay, so that's one thing that you must be aware of. As you go to the exam, it's not a must that you go off at 150 at 85. You can even go to 150 and still pass. Okay, so the thing is how you approach those questions is what really matters. And as it is, you know that it is a computer adapted test, meaning that the computer is able to rate you. If it is not sure about your passing standard, then it keeps giving you questions more and more and more until when it feels that this person is a safe nurse and now they can move you to the next level, or they can tell you, sorry, you're not able to pass at this time, then they can give you a bad score, that is a fail. Otherwise, as you practice with the hardest questions, and we normally look for those questions in our Gold Banks group, which most of you are already subscribed to. So the more you try out those questions, the better for you. And it has worked for many students who have come before in this group. So you have two questions. Okay, you have two questions, but they're almost the same. Share the topics you encounter, the types of questions asked, case study, priorities, SATA. Are they common? I think you can elaborate on that.
Okay, thank you, Nashon. The topics I encountered, there were, I don't know if I can remember all, but I'll be able to mention a few zenye nakumbuka. I had 4 case studies. One was on preeclampsia. Another one was on peritoneal dialysis. I had preterm labor. I can't remember the other case study that I had. There were 4 case studies. And then, no, the other one was on, it was grave depression, a client who had lost a spouse. Yeah. And then they lost their job, they became alcoholic. That things we have been doing. So, on standalones, I had SATA, standalones, but a lot of questions, or rather, I say a lot of questions are on prioritization. As a nurse, what are you going to do about this patient? As a nurse, whom are you going to see first? They can give you a story, a long one, and then at the end of it, as a nurse, whom are you going to see first? So, guys, just know on prioritization. Again, know on delegation. What are you supposed to tell the UAP to do? What are you going to delegate to the LPN? And when they are all there, don't delegate to a UAP what an LPN can do. So you just need to read more on delegation and prioritization. A lot of questions are on that. And then now on topics or topics, yeah, there was a question on Cushing's. There was a question on below the knee amputation. There was EKG. Remember you guys, I told you nipeleke mahali nitajua about EKG hata kama ni kwa mganga. I was serious. but I took it like, yeah, it's a weakness and I had to work on it. And yes, I got a question on it and I know I answered well because I had read well. I went back to books, I went back to YouTube, I read well on it. And I got a question. There was also something on lithium, Basel and gold rush. The question that you did yesterday, it was like that. Even the ABCDs, the A was A and the D was D. So you just need to be serious with these questions that you encounter here. There was something on PPH. There was something on depression. There was a question on small bowel obstruction. There was type 1 DM and type 2. There was what? Let's say PPHS. There was a question on caput, succedaneum, and cephalohematoma. Cushing's. Let's say Cushing's. There's a question on Cushing's. And what else? Zingine sikumbuki sana. But if I remember, I'll share. There was also something on care of a newborn, 1 hour old newborn. Yeah. These are some of the topics that I encountered and the questions. That SATAs were there. SATAs, I repeat, vile watu wamekuwa wakisema SATA just because of the negative marking thing. Please choose what you are sure of. There was a SATA question that I chose one. I don't know how many they wanted, but I was sure of that one. And I chose it and I submitted. Because sasa ninge-choose one alafu ni-choose another one that was wrong, I couldn't have gotten the mark. It could have been a 0. So just choose what you are sure of. Always employ the test-taking strategies when you are answering the questions. Prioritize ABCs. They use the true and false, especially on SATAs. Know what you are. SATA, know what? I had like 6 SATA questions. So you need to choose what you know. This is right. Don't guess. Don't guess. What are you asking? And the question that if they are common, if they were common, what do you mean they were common? Do they look like the one we are wearing? if you read the rationales well, especially on uko kwa Mary, nasemanga Q banks kwa Mary, uko kwa Q banks, please make sure that you read the rationale, because so questions come from those rationales. Yeah, leave alone the question that you've answered, alafu ndo ukapewa your explanation chini. There is a question that will come from that rationale that you are reading. So it may not be exactly like what you encountered during your preparation, but if you read that rationale of a certain question, you will understand what they are asking. You will know how to answer it. Don't be like, question has been asked, we have answered, and then tumepewa the answer was C, and then now you see it is C, and then you go to the next. Hata hujasoma useme why, mbona mimi nilichoose B and the answer is C. It's okay, we don't have time to read the rationales when we are doing the Q banks, but please, when you have your own time, go back to those rationales. Soma. We have questions there and we have answers there. Yeah, they might not come like the way it was asked in our preparation time. They can be twisted, but you'll see that it is the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much once more for that. So any other question for Pam? So I think it's also good that I ask Maria to say something. Maybe she can also ask you a question if she has. Also, you can comment on Faith's performance and her testimony as you ask your concern to Pam. Maria, if you are in.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to congratulate Faith and Pam once again. Congratulations and enjoy your new title. We are proud of you guys. It's been a journey and you've sold what the right time. So thank you so much. And for the question that I have for Pam is, for how long? Maybe I missed that because I had an issue with my network. Maybe for how long did you study for your exam? Did you do the exam in Nairobi, or maybe you traveled outside country? Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, maybe you can answer the two questions first.
Thank you. I had said, I think you had network issues. I had said I started my journey on 14th June 2024, and I did the exam on 14th of May 2025. That's an year. It's been 11 months or a year. Yeah, it has taken me that long. And then MedPro told me there's an examination center near me. They will look for a space for me there. Actually, I wanted to go to South Africa. I remember there is no need. It will be, so this is alone. My guide advised me that it will cut cost on my loans. So they told me to do it here. I said it's okay. I did it in Nairobi, 1 hour away from where I live. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Pam, for answering the questions. Maybe if anyone else has a question, maybe can ask. Because I don't have any other question, but congratulations to you guys.
Okay. Okay, any more last, just one more last, the last one for Pam, and maybe for anything you might need be clarified from Faith? In case you have a question, you can also type so that we exhaust, we don't leave anything pending as we come towards the end of this session. So maybe as we go, Pam, can you give your last words, your parting shots to these nurses as they prepare for their exams? I know it was quite a journey for you. We've seen that in 1 year you were able to put together everything and you have the result, which is the desirable result that everyone wants. So what is that one thing that you want to leave these people with? Pam.
Thank you again, Nation. What I would tell you, my colleagues, nurses, just more like don't baggage yourself with a lot of things. Know what you want. Just read what you need to know, and always think as a nurse. Huko kwa exam ni kama like you should just think as an answer because in answers they can give you things a doctor can do, things a surgeon can do, but they want to that one thing you can do as a nurse. The answers are all right. Ukweli, you have to do this to this patient, but as a nurse, what am I supposed to do? Usifanye kazi ya mtu mwingine, think as a nurse. And always put God first in all you do. Yeah, you are believing in God, put God first. Omba. Hii safari ni maombi. Omba and have a family in here. May I told you from the start, I found a family here. People who can check on you, people who can they call you, they ask you how you are doing. Even the morning to exam, I got calls, I got prayers. Thank God, I'm praying for you. Do this, and then leave anxiety huko kwao. Wachana na anxiety. It's okay to be anxious. Myself, I was anxious like 2 weeks to exam. I was like, sijafanya hii. But I told myself, no, I've been here since last year. So, achana na anxiety. Anxiety will actually make you fail. Once you go to that exam, don't go with anxiety. Just ask God to remove that spirit of anxiety from you. Uende ukiwa na confidence. Dress yourself well with confidence and you'll conquer it. And what else really? I think ni hayo tu. And then Nation, I think you need to demystify things out there. Kuna watu wanadhani wewe ni Nigeria. So they fear even enrolling in there. So in the WhatsApp group there are a lot of people like 900 ingine iko na 1,000, and then there are people who think that you are from Nigeria, so they fear, they think it's a scam. You tell them you are not Nigerian and you are not a scam. Enroll classes.
Do I look like Nigerian, surely?
I don't know. My colleague today told me that, hey, Kuni, that guy is because I was sharing how I was like my resources. And then when I mentioned, I said, hey, I'm in that WhatsApp group. Kwani huyo jamaa is not a Nigerian. Kawambia ni Mugale. Sio Nigeria. So she said she'll enroll. Actually, I gave her your number. Yeah, you guys, you will pass. The fact that you are here in the Gold Banks group, that's a ticket to passing. Kwa sababu hizi questions ziko tu. They are meant to prepare you. So you'll pass. Yeah.
Okay, that was a funny one. Thank you so much, Pam, for for that. So actually, I have Nigerian students. I have like 2 of them. The only challenge is that they have a problem when it comes to enrolling. I don't know. It's like they don't have the M-Pesa, what we use here in Kenya. So they find it a bit tricky for them to make their payments. So it's when they don't get the appropriate app to make their subscriptions, maybe for the Q banks or for the Gold Rush, that's where they get a challenge. But I've taken note of that comment that maybe people think I'm from Nigeria. No, that's not right. I'm not from that country. And I support all the students from all across the world. We even have students from the UK, and they're still benefiting from our program. So if you're able to talk to them, just assure them that this is a very legit thing. We don't have any traces of scamming, and all the scammers who might want to joke around, we'll be able to deal with them. We'll just remove them from our group. My aim, as usual, is to have people passing. We started this thing almost 1 year ago, way back in July 2024. Many students have gone through this group and they've passed their exams. So it's good. It's good that once you're out of this place, you can be an ambassador, and I would really appreciate. So I think that is pretty much of what we wanted to talk about today. And before we go, I can see we have Tina. Tina is also one of our, our key students for now. She's been able to take us through a few topics here and there, especially when I wasn't feeling well. So I want her to maybe say hi to this team and also make her remarks and encourage you people. Tina.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, I want to congratulate Pam and Faith, even though I've just joined late, but I've had your comment and your encouragement, and I believe you're going to adhere with what you've told us. Congratulations and enjoy your new titles. To my fellow RNs, I'd like to tell us that let us just keep on pushing, and we know finally we'll make it, even if the journey is not, it's not an easy journey anyway, but we know we are going to make it through our lead tutor, Nahashon. We are going to make it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Tina, for that comment. So for anyone else who has exams soon, please make sure you are in the right groups. Okay, it's not enough to be on the gold banks alone. You need to be on the gold rush as well. So if you want to benefit, if you want to join us, please get in touch with me. I'll be able to sort you out. It's good that you join a community, and this is already enough evidence that communities do work. You need someone to at least share. At least if you get a challenging question, if you get something, it's not about the NCLEX alone. Even generally things to do with life, you can ask around. And that's the purpose of these groups. So I want to encourage everyone as you go towards your exams. These exams are passable. People have passed before. For you, it's just a matter of time. And to make the right decision being here. So let's cooperate and let's ensure that we are sacrificing our time. Let's not look at the finances. Okay? Let's not look at the finances. These things come and go, but knowledge is permanent. Once you have that, you are RN license. Imagine that's what you need. You will never do these NCLEX again for the rest of your life. It's not like the IELTS. This one is once you've been licensed, that is it. Until the time when you will maybe want to do the advanced levels now from the RN maybe to the practical nurses there, then that's when you'll be required to maybe redo the exam. But for now, let's focus on the NCLEX-RN. And I'm very sure that all the 50 plus members on this Gold Banks group will be hearing your testimonies soon. So if you're testing any time this month, I hope you've taken note of those topics that have been tested this week and this month. You never know. You might not get the exact question as it is, but that topic is a gold mine for you. You need to go back and just read on that topic very carefully, okay? Because these exams somehow they cut across. If exams that were done this week, if you ask around everyone who has done the same for the week, you will notice that some of these topics are common. So, and we've had the opportunity to hear those topics right from the horse's mouth. So it's yours is to go back and maybe take your time and go through those topics and do a few questions, and you'll be good to go. If you're testing in May and maybe early June, these are your topics. I'm not saying that they are the exact topics that you will find, but just take note of those topics because you never know what will come in your exams. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, and congratulations once again to our new USRNs. Please enjoy your titles. Okay, enjoy your titles, and I wish you well as you even progress with your journeys towards the American dream. For us is to create the environment and to create that community that you need badly. We'll be here to support. And if you have any question for me or for even our new USRNs, feel free to leave a comment and we'll be able to address that. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in, and that will bring us to the end of this session.